instead of the phone.
Yeah, take your time. It's okay. Hey, you guys. We are
Hi,
here
everybody.
hanging out. Yes. Oh, hold on. There comes Nahil too.
Oh, let
Oh,
me get the
that's
three of
not no.
cups out.
Yeah, I have mine out too. All right,
There we
there's
are.
Miss Lolly. So yes, I have Miss Lolly. Her channel's Mythical Writer, and then of
I like
course,
that.
yeah, JD. Oh yeah, can you see? How are you
I'm the
doing today,
cleanup
ladies?
woman. One of my brands, is the cleanup woman, or like, oh yay, can you see? That's my crochet channel, and um,
Oh, you
this is
crochet
my not
too?
ready
That's
for.
awesome.
Yeah, I yes, ma'am, I sure do. This is my not ready for prime time face, and I'm not
No,
fishing for
don't.
reassurance.
We have to be
Mhm.
kind words to ourselves. We have to love
Yes,
ourselves. Let's
yes.
This is
start.
just me.
Yeah, I had a hard time coming on camera because our voice is our own worst critic,
Hmm.
and I I've shared where I've met some of what I thought was the most outside beautiful creatures ever, and their inside turmoil is still prevalent. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
we're
not
all
even
on a
worth it.
journey. Yeah, we're all on a journey of loving ourselves, right? I wanted to
Yes.
start. I wanted to start because I don't know. I don't know why it led me to kind of get your perceptions on what what is a tarot reader in your view. Now, let me preface before we dig in a little bit that this is just experience, strength, and hope. This is not Bible. This is our own. There's no wrong way. There's no right way in
Hmm.
spirituality. It's an all loving entity. So let's preface with that first. And if y'all don't mind, if I could just say a little prayer that we do connect with spirit, if you're okay with that. Are you
Oh,
okay with that, Miss
that would
Lolly?
be great.
That's fine with me.
All right. Higher power
Who's
divine,
oh,
I just ask that you connect with us today, that your will be done, that we can help guide others in our experience, strength, and hope, and just share our wisdom, our knowledge, and our love with them. And so it is. All right. So I just wanted to
so would
start
it
like,
be?
yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions around just even what a tarot reader is. So I wanted to kind of dig into just in your opinion, what is a tarot reader to you?
Miss Lolly, you go first, please.
Um, I think it's just a reader, someone who can connect with the spiritual side or um, the environment that they're in and get a feeling for that. I don't think anybody's necessarily a tarot reader or not. If you have a calling, you have a calling. So you do you. I mean, that's basically all it is. Some people feel like, um, I well, I won't go there. I won't say that because everybody has their own perception of things. Um,
Hmm.
I can read cards. I've read cards for a long time. But I use the books that they come with because each one's a little different. And I think the more that you open yourself and the more that you reach out to what's there, the more you'll be able to interpret those cards for yourself.
Elegantly said. I like it.
Hmm.
Um, what do you think, JD? You want me to share? Or do you want to go next?
It doesn't matter because Miss Lolly basically said it. I could like maybe add a few words, but that's pretty much how I feel about it. My the only difference I would have been reading all my life except for churchy stuff. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all I have to add. And the journey that I'm on at this moment tells me whether that detour was necessary. Clearly it was, or it wouldn't have been taken. But and what do you think?
Yeah, I too had I always knew tarot was out there, but because I was trying to find a home within organized religion, and I always say
Mhm.
organized religion has its place for people. I'm not knocking anything about that. It's just not my journey. But due to trying to find a home in organized religion, I was taught that within the church that if you seek guidance outside. It was almost like tied to false prophets, witchcraft,
All of
multiple
that. No,
God. Yeah, all the above,
not
right?
almost.
Yeah.
I thought I would be split in twain with a bolt of blue fire if I had read tarot.
Yeah, every time
Yeah.
I asked about any of this, it was I was a heathen. My grandmother was brought up Pentecostal, not the snake Pentecostal, but just regular Pentecostal. And
Yeah.
anytime we asked about any type of what was considered witchcraft, it was very looked down upon and bad. So there's, I know that there's things out there beyond that, and I know that there's, I've seen it, I've felt it, I've dealt with it, and having that knowledge, it doesn't erase that little nagging grandma voice in the back of your head. What are you doing? So sometimes that's hard to overcome. But
It is very
again,
hard.
you have to do what you feel is right because you have your own relationship with your higher power, whatever that may be. They're
Hello, friend.
the
Oh,
quit. You can't type.
but you can't
Validation
just
through the
sit there.
animals.
Yes. Look, thank you for joining. Can you just sit there so I can see you? Man, I miss my dog. I haven't had a pet in so long.
We have 2 cats and 5 German shepherds. So
Aw.
Well, just have a seat, cat, so I can see you.
she don't sit. She's into everything and has to check it all out and
Well,
mess
she
with my
even gave her
computer.
blessing. Thank you for showing me your booty and your tail.
Right? Let it all hang out, huh?
She
Living the
does.
best life.
She made, because I was just sitting here thinking, man, your heartbreak and sadness is showing on your face. I didn't know my resting face was so sad. And then the cat came. I was just literally sitting here thinking, wow, your resting face was never this sad. Wow. Okay, we have somebody here who
Yeah,
asking for a
sick.
reading.
Hey,
Okay, you said,
Johanna. Hey, sick. What'd you say,
oh, so you
JJ?
know, sick bastard. Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, sick is part
Word.
of our community on the biker side. Yeah.
Yep.
I know one sick bastard. He's a hippie. He's an all-loving hippie. A big Grateful Dead fan.
Sick bastard.
Yep.
I know. We literally call him
I was
sick.
like, is it a troll? Do we need a moderator?
He's our boy.
He is. He's so funny. He actually lives close to Keepop and I, so we get to hang out with him in the person. We rode motorcycles with him. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish we lived closer to you all.
I know, because there's
Joanna Lou.
Jo-
I'm trying to get it
Joanna.
together. Joanna.
Sick bastard got you off track, huh?
Completely out of pocket.
You're like a bit of troll.
Thank you for making me laugh.
But yeah, we were just talking about, if you're just coming in, kind of our perception of a tarot reader and how mainstream religion kind of does put the fear in us, right? Tells us we're going to go to hell. So for me, a tarot reader's that, just like y'all said too, just connecting with whatever your higher power is. I always tell people, when I was in church, like, I had a hard time. I would feel the spirit while I was there until they started talking about the fire and brimstone. And then all of a sudden, like, where's the spirit? All I feel is fear now. But through tarot reading, I've learned that, you know, that's a form of manipulation and control. And that for me, you know, it's about living in freedom. And the spirit that I connect with wants us to live our best life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I found a new, like, I'm able to connect with it on a daily basis through tarot, with helping other people and
Yeah.
reading for myself, listening to collective reads. So yeah, for me, like Lolly said and JD said, it's just a person that opens up their vessel. You know, like we've mentioned, anybody can read tarot. It's just if you're opening up to receive the
Well,
message. You know,
I want to stop you right there.
yeah.
There are a lot of antibodies reading tarot right now, and I don't I don't disagree that anybody can read tarot, Crystal. How do I say the spirit?
I know. No, I feel
Help
you.
me
I know
say.
what you're saying. Yeah.
You see where I'm headed with this.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, spirit. Not everybody should read tarot. Is how they just put it to me. Everybody can, but they just said in like a solemn chorus, but not everybody should. And so, and what I kind of connect that to is who is a tarot reader, because even via technology that's supposed to be so far beyond what we're doing with these old ancient images here, I could sense the reader in Miss Lolly, like she sensed it in me, like we sensed it in each other. That's a tarot reader.
Good morning, Sterling, Will, and Nano.
Good
Yes.
morning.
Yes.
I mean,
Nano is also Nahil. Welcome, Nahil.
oh, okay. Hi, Nahil. You can sense these things, and what Spirit told me is this lady will bail on you if you're not for real. That's what Spirit told me about Miss Lolly. Like she will cut the camera off and go do something else.
Yeah, I have a lot, I guess, with my
Now, is
age and
that
the
true,
things
Miss
that I've
Lolly?
had. Well, yeah, it is. Because, I mean, it's the
That's
things
what
that
they
I've had in
told
my
me. It's like,
life and
look,
the
if this lady
people that
don't
I've had
find
to
me
deal
for
with.
real, okay.
It's you either be who you are and be honest about it, or go on to somebody else, because I don't have time for it. Life is
Ain't nobody
short,
got time for that.
and I want to enjoy it just like everybody else. So I don't want to waste time on fakes. I don't deal
Me
well with
either.
fake people. I do the best I
And
can, and I'm not perfect by any means,
hmm,
but I'll be truthful with you and I'll be honest with you, and that's all I expect in return.
Hmm.
well, Spirit told me she will turn the camera off and go do something else. And I
I
and
and
yeah,
appreciate that.
I'm a smoker and I don't smoke on camera. So when I put my
I
icon up,
respect
it's
that.
usually because I'm smoking. I know not everybody does that anymore or likes to
That's a
see it.
nice choice. No, that's a
Go
nice
off
choice, Miss
camera.
Lolly.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Nahil, hey, I don't know if you want to mute and say hello, and if you don't, it's totally acceptable too. Nano Nahil,
No.
part of our sangha. I don't know if
No.
they can. And they might just be here to hang out. So if you feel like you want to unmute and say hello, you're more than welcome to, Nahil. We're glad to have you here.
Sick Bastard says,
I want. I just wanted to. I know we haven't brought up the card we were going to discuss today yet, but it really kind of floored me. We think about the spiritual sides and everything happening for a reason, and I think it's amazing that this is the card that you chose to talk about today,
me
with
too.
community and celebration, friendship, and even in the reverse. We started out talking about what is a tarot reader and religion as a whole, and the Three of Cups in reverse is the herd mentality. It's all the sheep that are involved, as well
Say
as the
that again,
community.
please.
It's a herd mentality. It's the
I
sheep
never heard that before. Okay.
that are involved. So it's a community thinking, but in reverse, it's more, yeah, the Three of Cups reversed is more of the negative side. It's not a positive side. So when you look at the upright, you're talking about community and friendship and celebration. So we're together in our beliefs. We're maybe not every aspect, but for the most part, we
Mhm.
believe in a spiritual side and celestial beings for the sides that we look at. But when you look at this card in reverse and the negative parts of it, it's the affairs, the herd mentality, the stagnant or
Ah,
um, um,
I'm hearing
stifled,
triangulation.
stifled creativity. And we just talked about how you and I both had more of a ordered religion in our past, and we veer from that to a point because of how our spiritual beings are being stifled. So the Three of Cups in reverse also talks about the stifled creativity. So
Wow.
I wanted to point out that I thought it was really cool that that was the card you picked for today in our first meeting like this.
Yes. And it just is
That
so profound.
it actually came to JD's mind, spirit, whenever JD and I first talked about collaborating together. She just went into the Three of Cups. And so when we talked about doing this together, we were like, what card should we focus on? And of course, my 3D brain that I'm still kind of working through, that it automatically want to go with the typical, should we start with the major arcana? But then I said Three of Cups because JD had talked about Three of Cups, and so my instinct, my intuition said Three of Cups, but then my 3D brain said, "Wait, that's
Mm.
too weird. Maybe we
I
should go
remember when
to
you
the
said
Major
that.
Arcana." And then I was like, I didn't listen to my intuition. I said Major Arcana, and then JD was like, "Nah, sister, you said Three of Cups for a reason."
And
Yep.
I mean, it's my favorite. Everybody can understand celebrating and the holding up the pimp cup, so to speak. I don't know if I can say that
Right?
on YouTube. But that's, I mean, because it's not just any cup, that's that chalice. But let me see. There's something that came up when Miss Lolly was talking about it in reverse. Triangulation, which is a fancy word for setting up two people setting up another one to get food, right? So that would also be, you have opened up a door for me, Miss Lolly, and this is what the insight of it. I think spirit is guiding this whole thing because like there's three of us right now, but I hope there'll be four, because it is how spirit is working with me as a person who ran from tarot like he was on fire for 30 years. So to me, there's nothing more easily understood than three ladies celebrating the fruits of their labor, they holding it up to, the celestial and the earthly as well, because their feet are on the ground. I'm getting ahead of things. I just am wanting to articulate how the people who are in this particular collective are, it seems like we're like Three of Cups type people, just who have worked hard, and this is sort of the fruit of what we've been doing, and it's showing up collectively now, and even maybe we've even thought we were working individually. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. I pulled up the Three of Cups in the mushroom deck, the Midnight Mushroom. This is what the deck that Key Fob bought for me, just because with
Awesome
different
deck.
decks you might. Yeah, right. He picked a good one.
Yeah.
Just because I know a lot of beginner tarots, especially me. I consider myself a beginner. I'm still.
Me too.
I don't know the story of tarot. I just try to listen to, like Lolly mentioned, what the manual says, and then guide it through some intuition. But I know there's a lot of symbolism within the cards. So I don't know if y'all can see it. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about what sticks out to you in the
I
Three
can't
of
see it well
Cups. And
enough.
oh no,
Oh,
oh, I'm
no, no,
so
no. No, for the detail, but the first thing is it looks like cocaine. It looks like that word I can't say on YouTube.
an illicit drug. Sick bastard always says, "I never
Yes.
liked that drug. I just like the smell of it."
Okay. And so, and the cleanup woman, oh yay, can you say C says if the Lord don't make it, J don't take it. Okay.
Right? Yeah, I had to learn the
Look,
hard way.
really, if it don't grow up out the ground, if I can't roll it up, I don't want it. So
Yeah.
like I was saying, that's why I said, Miss Lolly, you just don't know. That's a nice choice. Because I'm in New York and people be like puff puff on camera. You can, I can. I'm like, the internet is forever. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to,
it
even if
is.
I can.
Well, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I've seen a lot of
Right.
people taken down by what they've had on the internet and what they've done. So you have to be careful with how you do things. And
Hmm.
most people today don't think about that. They don't care.
Yes,
They
ma'am.
just throw it
I,
all out
I
there.
I worry for the people who grew up with the interwebs because we
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. It makes a big difference on how people do things. But you were saying, Brainy, that you didn't know the history of tarot. Tarot, I think the readings have been around for ages before Christianity. It was
Mhm.
back with the pagan religion, and there was a lot of readings that didn't involve cards. It involved sticks and shells and rocks and things of that nature, as well as their own feelings towards the spirituality that they dealt with and the gods and goddesses. Then it became a card game. In Europe, it was um, set up as a group would get together and it was just a card game, similar to what we have card games today, spades and rummy and different things.
Whew.
And then as time grew and it became part of seeing, and people were able to start putting it together with the gods and goddesses and the spirituality side of it and being able to read, and it was used for fortune telling, and its sense has grown. So now you can read your past, your future, and your present through the cards that you see. Each one brings a connection. Each card brings a connection to the parts of life that you're dealing with at the time that you're dealing with it. The one thing that I see a lot of people look at, they think that with a tarot reading that it's in stone. This is what's going to happen. And that's not the case. Everything you do is tied to something else. And you may have a reading today, but tomorrow it could be different because you made a decision to move a different way. We have several different roads we travel, and we have that freedom of choice to decide which road we want to be on.
Miss
And
Lolly,
with our,
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you
yep,
right there because that's the clearest explanation I've ever got. What I heard you say it again, please. If you can remember what you said, that's the
which
clearest
part?
explanation the part where a reading is a snapshot in time. Thank you,
Yes,
Spirit. A reading is
that's
a
what it
snapshot
is.
in time.
We
Okay.
don't have the power to predict the exacts for tomorrow. Tomorrow may not be here. Somebody else could make a decision and it takes our choices away. So we don't
Hmm.
have that power. We have a
Funny
power
did.
over ourselves only to a certain extent. So you have to choose the roads that you want to travel. And once you make that choice, it's not always easy to stay on that road. Sometimes we have to veer off. Sometimes we come back. Sometimes we choose another road. But our tarot readings are specific to that point in time. It is, like you said, a snapshot into today, not tomorrow. So I try to veer away from future castings. I can tell you about your past and your present. I can help you to understand why you're where you are at today. But I can only give you a glimpse into, based on your today choices, what you may see tomorrow. It's never a definite.
So
Okay.
Now-
elegantly said.
I have,
Thank you.
that is some profound wisdom right there. And I'm gonna run it back so I can write it down, because those are words to live by, Ms. Lolly. I'm not just gassing you up high octane.
Well, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, because this ain't my first time around the block either. But the clarity that I have received is not just about tarot, but about everything. What you said about somebody making a choice that takes away my choices, that happened to me last week, because it's Sunday. It's last week. That happened to me. Somebody made a choice that took away my choice, but it didn't. I chose to respond in a completely different way. The first thing I did was say, hey, Crystal, let's get on a live, instead of just sitting there looking at the wall feeling sorry for myself. So you have just explained how I applied that lesson in a way that I can intellectualize it going forward. Okay, maybe somebody made that choice and it made it a little rougher on you, but this is your choice to respond in this way for your highest and best good. That's not just
Right.
for cards, it is just for life. And it also makes me understand, since I'm just starting out on this journey, why I should shy away from trying, even though everybody wants to know what's going to happen next, because we don't know what's going to happen next. The perspective you can take is giving people that disclaimer that somebody, this is based on an infinite number of choices from any number of people. So I can only give you a glimpse of what might happen based on what you are going to do. So Crystal and I have this thing where we don't, if you say, well, what does somebody so-and-so think about this? We don't do that. But see, you have just defined the next level of, I don't do that for me.
I do
Yeah.
want to add in, somebody put in the comments, and I have a feeling about this that I think I know why. They said, Emily says, I have a personal psychic that I call and everything she predicts happens. Do you ladies want to speak on that, or should I start?
You go right ahead.
I'll leave it to you, Devon.
I feel, Emily, a lot of times what happens is the power of thought and the power of self-fulfilling prophecies. When you believe that psychic, you are manifesting that into existence. It's coming to fruition because you truly believe that psychic. It's like in the typical Christianity, Jesus taught us to pray as if it's so. Jesus taught us to pray that way because that's the power of manifestation. So I don't doubt at all that what psychic is telling you is coming to fruition. It's because you believe it deeply and you're causing
just not for the reason you think.
Well, let me add too that what you put out into the universe is what comes back to you. So a lot of times people as a society, we don't push the positive energies. We don't push positive thought. We push, we're more succinct with the negative side of things than we are the positive side of things and the positive energies. So when you're putting that out there in the way that you phrase things, if it's to the negative side, you're going to have the negative energies come in. You have to rephrase, you have to rethink, and you have to realign your brain to think of the positive things. It's, my water heater just went out. It's leaking. It didn't go completely out, but it's leaking. So instead of dwelling on, oh my God, where am I going to find the money to get a water heater? How am I going to replace it? Well, because of the leak, now the floor's ruined. We have to replace the floor. So instead of being negative about that, I think, oh, well, this is now an opportunity. I can try a tankless water heater, which is a lot cheaper. And we can try other ways to get hot water. And even though we have to replace the hot water, I'm not without hot water. I still have it. We have a leak. So, it's I'm not looking down on the bad things that we have to do, or the negative side of things. You have to look at the positive side to be able to bring forth that positive energy. And a lot of times when you have a psychic, and it's not that I don't believe in psychics, I do. There are people out there who are touched, and it is, they can be very helpful in a lot of ways. But at the same time, you have to remember, again, that's a snapshot in your life. And what you're putting forth is what you're going to have returned.
We had a friend. Go ahead, JD. Go ahead.
Before it slips my mind. That before it slips my mind, because it was basically on. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Spirit asked me to ask you, do you call the psychic before you cross the street? And as absurd as that sounds, do you call the psychic before you cross the street? No, you look both ways and you judge. Because see, I just walked up and down a busy highway while it was snowing. I wouldn't call a psychic first. My head is on a swivel and I'm using my own judgment. So that is a nice way of saying, as we have mentioned, there are people, because I'm a seer, right? I got the gift and I'm forced to use it, but I don't go around looking for it. It comes, this message is from Spirit, okay? It's like a big old PVC pipe is how I see it in my mind. And it's not a download. I don't channel. You can tune a channel. You can change a channel. You can orient a channel. I don't channel. I'm a conduit. So what I'm saying to you about this, that Spirit wants to impart, is that you don't call the psychic before you cross the street. Do you really understand that you are giving up, you are swapping out your judgment for the judgment of a psychic and their perception of what's going on in your life at that snapshot in time? And you are not only that, you are assuring that person that, should I go this far?
Yes.
Okay. You are giving this person a direct line to they like a marionette, like a puppet, but or just like they call you up, you call them to tell them how to manipulate you, is what Spirit wants you to know. You call them up so they can manipulate you. And you literally tell them how to keep you using their judgment instead of yours. They may have had some original insight, but a person who is a seer, a person who is a psychic. I had an experience where I went with my friend all the way to Ohio to get in contact with a seer. 5 minutes after she went to the store, the phone rang. It was the seer. She said, I called to talk to you. Okay, and for real, she read your energy. She's reading it all right, but let me. Spirit is saying, land your plane, so I'm landing my plane.
I want to put out there too. I don't want to put down anybody. If you feel like you need to see a psychic, then by all means, please see your psychic, because that's what you need. But let me say that, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Okay.
Whatever
Emily.
time it broke on, it's right. There's a
And
lot of people out there who are very good at manipulation. There's a lot of people out there who can see you, talk to you, and can pick up pieces from you and put those together into a reading that you will find to be true. So be very careful about what you give what power you give to somebody over you.
right, as Lolly mentioned, this collective believes in free will. We have free will to make our decisions. So because a psychic or a reader says this is going to happen on this day, that is not set in stone. We always tell people in the community, do not take our readings as Bible. It is not
Krishna.
that. It, like as Lolly said, yes, hey Grish, we hope you're doing good. As Lolly said, we do have free will. So even if the psychic does foretell a future, you get to make a decision, and things happen that can change that. But we are an all accepting community as well. And as Lolly also said, if you find
Mhm.
comfort and it brings you, this is a place of true happiness. That's all we want for everyone. And if so, going to a psychic, and look, I listen to collective reads, and when they tell me my bank account's gonna, I claim it. Of course, it's gonna happen,
Mhm.
and that's the power of manifestation. So whatever
It-
brings you true happiness is what this is about in the end.
There's a saying in North Carolina and in the South in general: if you like it, I love it.
Yeah, exactly,
If
exactly.
you like it,
And
I love it.
JD and I actually had an experience with where I did a read on a girl with a newer relationship, and it was a positive reading that day. As Lolly mentioned earlier and so eloquently said, it's a glimpse in time. And at the beginning of that relationship, it was a beautiful read. And then she came back to us, and JD was with me, and the read had shifted. The energy had shifted around this relationship. And she
I
said,
remember.
but she said, but you told me that it was good. And I said, and that's when we explained to her, just as we've talked about today, that readings are just but a glimpse in time, and that any little the world around us is energy flowing constantly. It's an ebb and flow. Things are constantly evolving, changing, and our thoughts and our actions have so much power to them. And that's that free will, right? On the partner can make a decision, the mom of the partner can make a decision, you can make a decision that shifts everything from that reading and what it once was.
Hey,
So,
anything. I like
I
that.
like
Where the
what
energy go, energy
I like
grows.
what anything said. Yeah,
Yup.
yeah,
I like
Yep.
that.
where the energy go, energy grows. Exactly. Yeah. I
All right.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
we were.
Oh, go ahead, JD.
I was gonna say that to land that plane a little bit more. Emily, what's in your mind belongs to you. You're here with us, right? And take that as it resonates, that you're here with us, hearing from three people who come from completely different backgrounds and just literally collaborating for the first time in real time with you, and we're all singing from the same sheet of music. Take it how it resonates, dear.
Everything touches everybody different. And if it touches you deeply to see a psychic, then that's what you need to do. But
Mhm.
we don't feel the same. We may not feel the same way. There's, I've had Rainey read my cards. I like the way she reads. She's open and very to point that she sees it, and everybody's different. She may give me a reading, and somebody else, and JD may give me a reading, and it be completely different, because that's
Mhm.
what the spirit's called to them for my snapshot at that moment. I don't normally give readings. I do have several decks, and I do feel with the decks, and I can do things, and I could do readings. But as I said,
I'm
everybody's
never
different.
gonna predict
Everybody takes
anything for you.
no, everybody takes everything with their own grain of salt. And
Hmm.
that's what you have to do. You can
Yeah,
believe
I
in
would.
it, You can touch it can touch you, but what you do with it is what you do with it. It touched Brainy, and she wanted to read and she wanted to give that out to people. And that's her way of communicating and learning with the spiritual side. And that's fine for her. That works for her. It's not something that I choose to do because that's not something that works for me. I do oils, I do talisman, I do trinkets and gifts and stones. That's my thing for people. If I see something and I see you and I feel it, I send it to you because that's what I am. But everybody's different and everybody needs to follow their own guide.
Yep.
Beautifully said. Yeah.
Yes.
I was looking at the card. I don't know if anybody. I know JD mentioned she can't see it that well.
I see it
the
pretty
three,
well.
Yeah, the Three of Cups, as Lolly mentioned, is a card of community, friends, and joyful connection. And I love how the three mushrooms in this card are intertwined. And just like JD had said, I've met Lolly through YouTube, but I've never shared this experience with her. And the fact that we're all pretty aligned, kind of, and like she said, that it was unique that Three of Cups came up because this is kind of where Spirit has led us. You can see how it's magically just intertwined. And we had no clue, of the background. Same thing with JD and I. It was so rando. We just met through the chat of the tarot reading, and we were both open to working together, and our ideas and our thoughts align. And what I really like about this card is that JD thought of illicit drugs reminds me of like fairy dust. I don't know. In my mind, like I think of fairy dust and like a magic. Whenever we can find a community that aligns with our higher self, the magic that you get from it, right?
I was thinking when I first see that it's like snowflakes. Every snowflake is different, but it's the same.
Yes.
You end up with a lot of snow on the ground and it all looks pretty, but every single one is different. And everybody it still pulls together.
I used to have this concept because like it's snowing now and every snowflake is unique and different. And even snowflakes can get a negative connotation, but like I'm watching them come down. I spent 30 years in North Carolina and I have rediscovered my love of snow in winter. I went and walked out in that snow because I wanted to this morning, and I think we're back down to three. The other person left. I didn't get to meet them. You were about to say something, Miss Lolly? Oh, okay.
I wanted to ask, when you pulled your Three of Cups out, was it upright or in reverse?
I always read upright. So all my cards are always upright. I personally, for me, and this is just personal, it's not to knock any other readers. I believe, as we've talked about, the power of our thoughts. And I never, when I first started with my doggy deck, I did reverse readings. And there's some pretty harsh truths in there that can be said in a more, it just felt too negative to me. And I didn't want to put more negativity out there. And I feel like the lesson can come in a positive framing as well, right? So mine were all upright. Yeah.
Mine are not. I do.
So my thing is
true reading. So mine came out and it was upright.
Mine was reversed and I turned it upright because part of my inexperience is, and no, let me just stick to the point that Crystal was making. The reason that may be the only way, thank you, Spirit, that may be the only way Spirit can communicate something in a means that I can understand. And so my hesitation is automatically assigning something negative, because in my spiritual growth, I have learned to make a distinction between the negative and the toxic negative, because it's a polarity. You can't, just like magnets, they have a negative and a positive end, and the negative end of a magnet is not worse than the positive end. I don't know why I had to say that with my eyes closed, but to process that. The negative end of a magnet is not intrinsically worse than the positive end, it's just the negative end.
Right.
So I have learned to make a distinction between the toxic negative and the negative that needs to exist in order to hold things in balance. And if I discard the reverse card entirely, what else am I throwing the baby out with the bathwater? That's why I just want to learn how to be skillful about it, so I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If there's no other way, if something has run out, right, and I get this card, okay, clearly something is on the ground as gravity dictates. So, and I don't want to miss that by turning it right side up. So mine was upside down in the deck as I picked it up.
And Lolly was mentioning yours was too. Where were you going to go with that, Lolly?
Yes, please.
No, mine was upright. Mine was on the
Oh,
positive
okay.
side.
Oh.
I was just curious as to which ways, when you pulled the card, it came up. You know, we've talked about the stifling creativity when Emily come in and was talking about the psychic readings. I think that because you're so focused on what this person has told you should happen, it stifles your own creativity to be able to further what you need to further. When you walk that journey, it makes a difference. The fact that it's upright, or when I pulled my card is upright, I wasn't feeling real good today. And when the link came up, I had to make a concerted effort to say, okay, I'm going to get on. I want to see, or I want to be a part of it. And it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to get on. So I had to think about it. And the way things have aligned in the conversation, and having met JD and being a part of it, has meant a lot to me for today. It's touched me inside. So I just wanted to point out, I guess the reason for asking was to see how it all melded together for us. And like you said, a magnet has a positive and a negative, and it doesn't mean the negative's bad. You have to have the negative to have the positive. It doesn't work without both. There has to be a balance. What we make our balance is up to us.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good balance.
Yes.
We all have positive and negative sides, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's still a good thing. I don't, as a human being, I can't always focus on the positive energies. I can't always have positive thoughts every day. I have to deal with my negative side. And that's one of the reasons I applaud you, Brainy, for doing the positive aspects of it when you're dealing with so many people and that you don't know. But to me, I want to put the positive and negative together, because again, without that negative part of it, you don't see the whole picture. You don't see the full scope of what that person may be going through. And while it's good to push the positive energies, it's also essential to be able to realize the negative portions of it and fix it with the positive portions of it. Does that make sense?
To bring them to light. Yeah.
Yes.
And
we can whitewash anything.
Yeah.
So maybe the reason mine was inverted is because I've dumped out old ways of thinking, right? it's not always bad. What I dumped out was my fear, my conformity, and like you say, the stifling of my creativity is no longer an issue. And then maybe just so we would have this discussion, which I like and I see us almost like the three sides of a triangle, right? Because I like the fact that we can have the discussion about how you can always reframe things for the positive. And I have learned to do a better job of reframing things for the positive. And I can't speak for you, but one of the profound things about this live is how Spirit is literally doing what it says, Divine Sisters Guidance Beginners Tarot, right? Because now we understand why you would reframe things positively, and we also have insight into why Miss Lally and I don't approach it that way. And none of it is incorrect.
You know what else is really cool?
But
Divinity is in 3.
yes.
Ah, lovely. You know, Lolly, I
Yes.
experienced this morning. Whenever I got up, I honestly wanted to cancel this because I was feeling it, Lolly, too. Like it's raining here. I don't know. My body felt like it needed to rest, and I nearly canceled. Like Lolly, and I was like, no, like you said, it's a second by second decision. I knew this would raise my vibrations, you know. So, and I knew it could help lift other people up. I knew it could teach me things. I knew it could teach other people things. So it's like, no, put your big girl panties on, cook some breakfast, and get your mindset right.
What I'm hearing Spirit say right now is that the people who are on this live are getting information that is not being generated anywhere else, like celestial. This is really special. What were you going to say, Miss Lolly?
I don't remember now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It didn't. No, it don't matter. It's gone. It's wasn't meant to be.
And so, yeah. I also wanted to mention in this 3 of Cups, it's really cool. There's a full moon, and with the full moon, it might be harder to see. With the full moon comes the power, right? There's power in the full moon. There's really extreme energy. So, like JD was saying, this Sangha, this collective, is really special. Yeah, bringing something to the table, right? I like it.
Well, the full moon is also for celebration. The full moon is also for celebration, and that is part of the 3 of Cups is a celebration.
You're all right.
Do you mind if we do a little more work on the other card? Because
of course not.
Because I can't, like, those appear to be, what are the blue flowers? And then see, that's not just the 3, that's 111. I've been looking at that 111 for a minute. It's the 111. What are those? Are they roses? Are they cornflowers? Can you describe the card to us?
It reminds me almost like of lavender, but I don't know for sure. It's like purple with white blossoms in them.
Okay. And then what is this? I see the full moon, and that's like clouds and a starry sky.
Yeah.
Maybe wind.
Wind.
Okay.
Yeah, wind. You're right. Wind. Yeah.
And did you read us what it says about that card? Is there something in the book that we could learn?
Yeah, I could read it.
I mean,
while you're
really,
looking that up, anything says it has been a huge lesson for me. I find myself, or wait a minute, she says, or they say, narration has different impact at different times. We must use our discernment and aim for balance. It has been a huge lesson for me. I found myself at polar opposites. One time I learned how important it is to be honest but gentle, and currently I realize not everyone speaks the same language, which led me to realize and honor my dignity and needs by being brutally straightforward. A lot of times today I agree anything because there's so much lack of communication and so much need for immediate response and immediate
Hot
I
take.
can't think of my word, but that people don't communicate correctly. We communicate through text. Text does not give you tone. It doesn't tell you what the person is actually saying. That's why I love the panels, because you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, you can, it's all right there. And you have to be able to realize that not only language, we don't all speak the same language, we don't all have the same perspective of language. My past and my history and my present is what determines my perception to what I'm seeing and dealing with. Yours, JD, is different than mine. So you have a different perspective on things. You can have one statement, and that one statement's going to mean 10 different things to 10 different people.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And it's about I like how I know that I'm bringing in past my old timeline lessons, because through becoming sober, it came to light just how negative my thoughts were in my old timeline. And I think that's a reason while in my reading right now, I choose upright, because I was controlled by the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, and maybe it's even protecting my own energy from that. Now that we're kind of bringing it to the table, it's some shadow work I'm still working on for sure. But I really like you said, how anything brought up, the balance is needed. And sometimes maybe for the person getting the reading, they might need to hear it for them to shift their thinking from negative to positive.
Well, we have had the experience where, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We have had the experience, Miss Lolly, of I've been sitting, and I'm charging my cards during this reading. That's why I'm just sitting here with them, like you would charge a pendulum. I'm charging this only deck I have. But we have had experiences where I'll be like, I got nothing. Nothing is coming through. Nothing. And Crystal would pick up her cards and say, well, it's a little fuzzy here too. But then we had the experience of, within the same reading, the fact that spirit would not speak on a subject became the message. Am I telling that right?
Yeah.
And so, and then there was another time where I picked up on something that Crystal was not getting a handle on, right? And the cards that I came, and she's in Florida and I'm in the Catskills, the cards that I came up with actually had the person in the chat saying, yes, between the two of you, you have explained a situation that is going on in my life at that moment. So I say all that to say that is just like the polarity. And what spirit wants me to bring out about my experiences, that I was willing to acknowledge, I'm not hearing anything from spirit for you. I'm just
and whenever you'll shuffle, and with me, I'll shuffle, cut it, and pull. And it's like I was forcing it, because the three that I laid out still didn't make any damn sense.
This one just flew out of my deck.
They make sense. Which one is that?
Well, they did in the end. You're right. In the end, JD's finally started coming out, and then it was murky, but it made sense that it was murky. Like you said, there was still a message in it. Yeah.
The message is that it was murky. This is the Three of Pentacles. It just flew out of my deck.
Yeah. The teamwork. Three of Pentacles, teamwork, encouragement, skill. It's all right there. So they jump out for a reason. But one of the things too, you have to remember when you're doing your readings, you're doing them in a group setting. You're doing them online. So even though you may have one person that's saying, I want you to do my reading, there may be someone in your audience that has a higher need or has a more potent need. So that's the energy you're receiving in that reading. So even though it may
Wow.
be directed to one, it's the energy of the other that's making those cards come through because they
That is
needed it
amazing.
more than the other person. Not that we
And
would
I'm
know. We wouldn't know
right, right.
because
And there's people that
you can only do so much. You feel it. It runs through you, but the energies come through you the way they want to. It's not up
Yes,
to you.
yeah.
exactly.
And we've had people stay in there because it as we like I've mentioned, like attracts like, so we're attracting people on similar timelines, and they'll stay around for the readings because they get messages, like you said, even
Mhm.
from the other
4
readings.
hours. We were
Yeah.
on the second time we were on, we went on a live for 4 hours. And there were people who were there from the first minute to the last.
Yeah, because
That
there's a
was
lot of
amazing to me.
people. I think there's a lot of people who try to, dish it. It's not real. It's not whatever. But then they get these little nudges and they get these little feelings, and they're like, well, let me just watch. Let me just listen. Oh, wow, that really hit. Oh, wait a minute. And it's like, hello, the energies are there. They're calling you. So
Right.
believe it or don't, that's what it is.
Right.
Mhm.
Everybody's on their own path, their own timeline. Yeah.
And just like the person with the psychic was like, well, you're here with us now, and all three of us are pretty much telling. Every time I say that
Yeah.
word, we blank out. Maybe that's not a word we should use. Every time.
Which word?
She's like, which word?
P word.
Yep.
The word about the read. The
Yep.
should I say it again and see if it happens
Yep.
or not?
Well,
That
the whole
word.
thing's shut down.
Okay, let's not. Let's find another a euphemism, like Dr. Seuss. I have to go to the euphemism. We have to go to the euphemism, people. I love Dr. Seuss. That is the best throwaway line in Dr. Seuss. I don't know. I think it's the Christmas show. They're like stuck somewhere. There's a terrible storm, and the little kid says, I have to go to the euphemism.
Yep.
And I guess I was maybe 8 or 10 when I got that joke, and I like laid out on the floor, and my mother's friends was like, you better watch that one. She is really laughing at that joke.
You think it's funny, huh? You wanted me to read the Three of Cups from this mushroom manual, and it is the traditional. It says reunions and celebrations around. Drink it in, embrace these good times, and start more collaborations. Let in the healing that comes from socializing, so you can more deeply connect with your loved ones.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, and I had I made a connection and a friend today, and so, but it was because I didn't just sit here, and so it was on this sort of on the same level as you all are talking about how there was all the reason in the world to just stay in your comfort zone, and we all ventured out, and this has just like really been worth it.
It
Yes, it
been.
has.
I appreciate y'all. I do. Well, do y'all want to continue on, or should we end it? It's up to you, ladies.
It's whatever you
How do
want
you
to
feel, Miss
do.
Lolly?
I'm good either way.
I'm good.
All
It's
right.
I
been
got a little
nice. I've
more gas
enjoyed
in the
it.
tank. Me too.
Yeah, a little more gas in the tank. The
What
next
about
one is. Oh, go
what
ahead.
if,
Go ahead.
when you do your readings, do you do an overall on the spread, or do you go through each card?
I do go through each card. I keep them face down. Well, ever since JD and I have been reading together, I flip them over. But before, I was just going one by one and then summarizing at the end how they connect. But since JD and I kind of bounce off of each other now, I flip them over to see the connections between her reading and mine. Yeah, it's quite
Good.
different whenever we read together. Yeah.
And I don't have space to lay out a spread, and so I don't have to worry about am I getting the connections. I just let spirit do it. And
Yeah.
I think the thing, Miss Lolly, is just I'm in the condition and the situation where, like you talk, the word you use a lot, Crystal, is surrender.
Hmm.
I just, like I'm doing this now, I just surrender to the spirit. I just surrender to it. And if I had a table, I probably would lay the cards out to try to see how they what's the word I want? How they interconnect. That's not quite the word, but good enough.
Align.
But how they align. That's There's another word out there somewhere, but it'll come. But interconnect and align is also very good. Um, I might get bogged down. Thank you, Spirit. If I could lay them out and see them, because see, the table I have is for my laptop, and I got this clackety clack keyboard because I need. Never mind. But anyway, that's what I'm dealing with. So I have to kind of just always keep my hands on the cards. And I'm at the point where now I'm thinking, okay, I surrendered to spirit. So whatever I'm doing is pretty much, as long as I am open to the highest and best good, what spirit would have me do. So what they have me do is not lay the cards out and get bogged down, but just basically, if a bunch of cards come out and it's not too many, I will go through them one by one. And more often than not, there are cards in both our decks that come up, which is pretty interesting. Or I don't know, maybe not enough to notice it happens. It
Right.
may
It's
not be
been
as much as
to
I think,
notice.
but it's
Yeah.
always so amazing when it does. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's always very similar, but there literally has been at least 5 different times where we had the same major. It's usually a major arcana card.
hmm And that's
Yeah.
why people are coming and coming back,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean it was good with just Crystal, but it's just it I look at it as a person who was still leaning more toward how you approach. I can, but I don't. I could read for you, but I don't. I was situated into a a collaboration with Crystal where my gifts are really being best used at the stage where I am. And I'm so pleased and grateful. I don't know what would have happened if I had tried to just like start with my own channel reading for people, because I was too dithering and ambivalent about the honestly the propriety of it, Miss Lolly, if it was the thing to do. And so this way, there are people who will always come to a crystal read no matter what, and there are people who will always come when we read together if they
Mm,
can. And that's what
yeah.
I like about it. And then when I start reading on my own, there are people who will come, and Crystal has been, Brainy Camellia, she's been encouraging me, but I know I'm not ready emotionally to take
Right.
that on.
Well, one of the things that I noticed with mine, it's like throughout my life, there's in my readings, the swords and eights are very big in
Mm,
almost every reading I've had, and in my own life numbers, um, in dates and different things that I deal with. It's eights
hmm
or swords, and I wasn't sure if you all looked at the pull out the entire picture. You know, that's why I was asking.
How
Um,
what do
what do
you
you mean by pull
identify
out?
with that?
The eights and the suit of swords in your tarot readings is a situation dominated um, by mental activity, communication, conflict, um, core issues are like intellectual, legal, or ethical in nature rather than emotional or practical. And
Mhm.
I've always, where we had talked before about our past and the little nagging voice. So it's a constant conflict in the things that I do. So that's what pulls up in most of my stuff.
I see. I remember reading that. You're very you're deeply connected, right, to things, I think, right?
Yes.
And you feel the feels.
Right. You feel the feels, but you have the conflict of what's right and what's wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like, even though I don't
Evening,
believe it's wrong, it's still
right?
there.
It's still there, and
It's
I've
it's
had
the
the
little voices on the sides.
the
Right.
little nagging voice, like you called you called it out. Um, I have been the thought that has been kind of coming and going with me that is here now is that the initiation for people like us is kind of like that Eight of Cups, which comes out in almost every read that we do. This
For
collective,
the
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 Wyvern Collective,
collective's
is
very
the Eight of
connected.
Cups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's the Eight of Cups. You got to walk away. I think the level that we have to get to so that spirit can even speak to us is walking away from the churchy stuff. I love Jesus, and I met my Catholic friend at a Zen Buddhist monastery. I am her person, and it could not have happened. I couldn't have opened my mind up to the Buddha. I could not have opened my mind up to tarot the way I have. Um, I just could not have opened my mind up the way that I have unless and until I walked away from what you expressed so eloquently about not fitting in those churchy spaces and going here and there. And see, I'm United Church of Christ, and the one actual prejudice that I was actively raised with, I'm so ashamed still. Um, my mother told me that a Jehovah's Witness was not as good as a Pentecostal, but better than not as good as a Catholic. No, how did she put that thing? Not as good as a Jehovah's Witness is not as good as a Pentecostal or Catholic. I'm not, Spirit is blocking that, so I can't quote it accurately. But it was the one thing. I was raised to be afraid of Pentecostals. You know who I
Mm.
spent
A lot of
10
people
years of my
were.
life with? Look, you know who I spent 10 years? A Pentecostal holiness guy. I had to drag him past Jesus, his mama, and the whole Pentecostal church just so we could make love, and I got tired of it. I had to do all the heavy lifting.
Yep.
I was like, look, I cannot be the embodiment of our libido because you just cannot process this. I realized, and he's like, I wish our relationship was like it used to be. I was like, of course you do. I was doing everything. But for real, God, I mean, universe, the source put us together to heal that wound. And he did not make 60. I'm 61. He died at 58.
My first husband passed away in his late 40s. We were together 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So I
That's
mean,
deep.
It
and I'm not
was,
sure how we got there, but no, that's the nagging voice. It was, I mean, it was just like a screaming crowd. It's not just a nagging voice for me. I had to really cross a threshold so that spirit could deal with me. That was
Yeah.
yeah, we all have our journey. Every one of us has our journey. Some are able to reach it faster and be able to move to different levels, and others take a little longer. It just depends on what's going on. It's the older I get in life, the more I see and realize every life is a journey. Our energies go somewhere. And I truly believe we're here for a reason. We're here to learn, and we're all learning different, and we'll continue to learn. When we leave from this plane, if we have not learned and reached the level that we were meant to reach, then we'll be back until
Let
we
me tell
get to
you,
that level, until we
and
reach
I'm not trying to
that
do
knowledge.
this again, but Miss Lolly, let me
I
tell you
believe
another
that
little
too.
part of that story. I looked that man's mama in the eye and said, in the interest of full disclosure and my soul, I want to tell you that every time my mother came to your church, before she was out of sight, she called it a call. Both of them. I know. I look okay because I think my mom had gone. No, this was before, either right before my mom passed away or right after. I told my man friend's mom to her face in her church every single time my mama came in here. She was not out of the parking lot before she called your church a cult. And my mama stopped speaking to me from the other side, and I was like, "Good." That's okay. I still love you, but you ain't got a heaven or hell to put me in. And I told that lady the truth. Both of them stopped speaking to me. One on the other side, and so I think we are the people who can call ourselves readers because we cross that threshold. There are people who would say, I think I could read tarot and make, and get a following on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, whatever platform, the platform of their choice. Those are the people I'm afraid of. I had the experience of,
Mhm.
because I met Crystal scrolling through my live feed. There was a guy who he was a channeler. And when he asked for a download, he got the lowest level spirit. He started cussing and blaspheming because that's what he channeled. I scrolled away like my finger was on fire
Yep.
because that's why I don't channel. I'm a conduit, big old PVC pipe, and I don't want just any old. I don't mess around on the astral plane. I'm not flipping through the Akashic record. I want to hear from spirit and spirit only, for the highest and best good of all concerned. There's a lot of this stuff I don't do. And if I fall over that slippery slope into prediction, it's because I don't know any better. And so spirit introduced me to you so I can learn. And you too, so I can learn.
So we can
I
all
am.
learn.
Right.
Yep.
Lolly mentioned there's people, that will take advantage. And I too have seen, like, this is what your lover was thinking of you on December 31st. And I'm like, but people are clinging, they're just like anything. And so definitely
Yep.
I am.
Grabbing at
That's
straws.
usually
Hey, Empress.
that's usually people who don't want to take accountability for the choices they make.
Mm,
Who do they blame? Their psychic
right.
Mhm.
Oh,
Remember
or their
she said
reader.
you're right. So true. Thank you. I found it we were talking about, moving away for us. Like we said, everybody's on their own journey. So it's not that we're knocking any religion or anything. It's just our spiritual journey. I find it so funny that the 3D world teaches us to put labels on things. Because if
Mhm.
you know how many people ask me if I'm from India or if I'm Hindu because of sweet Lord Ganesh behind me. And I always tell them, I'm like, I'm not one thing. I take words of what Jesus taught. I've learned from Krishna. I've learned from Buddhist texts. I've learned from YouTubers like The Alchemist. It's like,
Mhm.
and authors of like the New Worlds or the New Earth. It's like it's a mixture of everything. Even one person asked me, "Are you a witch?" I said,
It's
"Just
like
no."
I'm an alien. But
I'm
no,
an alien.
look what's on the bottom of the deck. Spirit is with us.
What? Aw.
Maybe they want us to get out all the threes and all the suits and look at them.
Oh, I mean, why
Because
not?
I have just been sitting here, like you see that I have just been randomly shuffling pretty much the entire time that we've spoken.
Yeah.
And I do want to
Yeah.
talk about the bears. I like those dancing bears because see, I'm in the Catskills and I actually have seen a bear in the yard, little baby bear.
Look at them
Yeah,
living
I
their
have
best
seen.
life.
Yeah, I look the mama bear and her two cubs. I told you I spent 6 months at Buddhist monastery in the Catskills, and I knew that bear was in the bushes looking at me because like the last sit is at 9 o'clock, right? And I
Yeah.
knew I was like something is watching it. And my friend Megan, whom I met the one night, I heard her scream. And I was like, everything okay? I didn't hear anything else. The next day I was like, somebody was like, she's like, it was me. Something, I saw the red eyes of something about my size. And so, like, by the end of the summer, and we're in the cemetery doing a free sit in nature. And this same bear, who was about the size on her hind legs of my friend Megana, comes strolling through the cemetery with one of her cubs. The other one was like up in the bushes, is like, I'm not even doing this. And I kid you not, y'all, that bear was like you take your kids to the zoo to see the bears.
Yeah.
That mama bear took her kids to the cemetery to see the people. Like, these are the people you can trust. Look at them, get their scent, smell them. We're just gonna stroll on through here.
I'm just gonna let you know this is how it is.
Yep. And so the next summer I was on the other side of the Esopus, on the other side of the creek. That same mama bear left that little boy bear on that side of the creek, and I had the window open, singing in my pitchy voice. And he heard me, and because bears don't see that well, it's their sense of smell and their hearing. And I know that bear recognized me because he came to my window. And then I was sitting on the porch singing, and he came through the yard. And I was like, no, you can't get out there on the highway and get smushed. Go back up into the hills. But that day, because my spirit animal is the falcon, that was the day. It was the bear, the falcon, and the rabbit. I saw a bear and a falcon and a rabbit in the space of half an hour sitting
wow.
on that porch. Yep.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yep. And so, and I have seen, let me see, I saw the first time I got out and walked in the snow, I saw a falcon. Generally, when I see the falcon, because the falcon that I saw strolled into my, and it actually showed me all this, like, I am a falcon. I'm not a hawk. I'm not a baby eagle. That falcon came in my, okay, and the dog is like, yup, that's my confirmation. I am a falcon. I was like, okay, you falcon, I see you there. You're my spirit animal, duly noted. And so, and it's just like, what do you got to say, friend?
Right.
You see,
The dogs are all barking in validation.
look, that dog is saying something in dog language. We just don't know what it is.
Right? They woke Maddie up. Maddie's all looking at me all sleepy eyed.
Oh.
But yeah, like we were just talking, this deck calls it Visions. The suit of cups is called Visions. So yeah,
Okay.
just like we mentioned earlier, the Three of Cups, you can see them celebrating together, living their best lives.
You don't know how bad I miss having a dog by my side.
I can only imagine. Yeah,
It's coming.
they're like our life force energy. It will come. It will.
It's coming. My rescue dog, my rescue cat, my rescue cow named Moo, M-U, Moo. They're coming. Because look, I've basically put meat in the friend zone. I don't eat that much meat. I don't know if it's because I'm older or because I can just taste the blade in every bite. I don't know. I just, it's so unkind to eat meat.
Yeah. Well, I can show the doggy card too. This is the Three of Cups in the doggy suit. But you know what I find pretty funny about it? And this deck does have reverse meanings. But you can see the pack of three having their best time. But like Lolly had mentioned, the reversed meaning. Go tell me again, Lolly, because I'm not as familiar with the reversed. This tanglement in the leg is. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's a herd mentality.
Ah,
It's affairs and stifled creativity.
And I feel like the tangling in the human's leg maybe is an aspect of that, right? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe if we are not careful who we align ourselves with, right?
Which one of those dogs is me, ladies?
Right. Look, the little I'll get you.
Okay, I'll take it because I will. I want to.
There we go. Brainy'd be the one on the left there that's looking off to the side because she's looking around and is trying to make new friends.
Right.
Okay.
I got my little yellow anchorship too.
Yeah, being friendly. I'm the one that's the black and white. I'm the one. That's my controlling nature. It's like I'm.
So you're the one that's looking right at the reader.
Yep.
Like protector, right? Like I see through you.
Protector, fixer, in control.
It is awesome. I haven't smiled this much in a long
Look at
time.
this. Look at this. Look at the synchronicities. You're set. You're impressive. You. Okay, I can't read. What is the name? You're impress everything. You're impress everything. Said, and I just posted. Yeah. And I just posted on Facebook this morning how much I love dogs that look like bears and diamonds that look like flowers. Signs, synchronicities, right?
There you go.
Engagement.
So amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Three of Cups reverse, could it be engagements? Because I was just looking at that last comment.
Well, the Three of Cups.
You were saying affairs. Affairs is what I've noticed.
Not engagement.
Okay, not in the good way.
Right. It's a more negative intention on the Three of Cups itself. It's the more negative side to it. It's
affairs.
When I think of affairs, it's cheating, that type of thing. It's had hidden relationships.
Secret relationships.
Herd mentality where everybody just jumps on a bandwagon, whether they know what they're doing or not. They're just going with everybody else to go with the flow. And then, of course, that moves right into the stifled creativity because you can't think for yourself. You're not able to make your own decisions. You're not able to do your own thing. You have to do what everybody else is doing.
I definitely, in my old timeline, I was definitely follow the herd mentality. This version of myself this is truly authentically me. In my older timeline, in my alcoholism and addiction, I didn't know who I was. I was constantly seeking, and even in high school, I was friends. I was friends with the different cliques because I couldn't align with one. I couldn't figure out. I just was that herd mentality. So it's amazing how this spirituality has brought me just a sense of just attracting those that truly are authentically themselves as well. You know what I mean? No more of the bullshit.
I've always been I've always been part of a group, but outside of it. Growing up in high school, it was, or when I was younger, much younger, we had all the cliques and things like every school does, but I didn't fit into any one. I went to several. It was, again, the perspective that you look at things in different lights.
I was always alone. I'm a person that the only thing I ever wanted from life was to be a wife and a mother. And I've been alone as a single mom and a parent my whole life. And I guess, one of my favorite songs is the Seals and Crofts. I think it's Seals and Crofts. Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
Yeah.
That's the life that I wanted. When he talks about when she's just standing there, not a care in the world, because, that's like the high point of the song. that he's singing about, he's waiting there, not a care in the world. That's the person that I wanted to be. That, that Mr. came home, Mr. Provider came home, and I was there with not a care in the world because he was out there providing for me, not because I was careless, right? But because we were a team, and I really thought that my life would be like Summer Breeze, like that song. That's the life that I was aiming for. And it's been nothing like that, nothing close, so much heartbreak, so much pain, so much alone time.
Yeah, but
But
JD,
what
is
it
that
is.
something that was truly attainable?
I
I mean, if you really,
Clearly
if
it
you
was.
look at that's, but
Clearly
that's what
it
I'm
wasn't.
saying. It's not an attainable position for anybody. Everybody that looks like they're in that position, if you look at the inside, it's not that position. They,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I think I
It's all
do.
in the perspective. Everybody, if you're on the outside looking in, you're only seeing the outside. Unless you know that person and you know that couple or you know that family, intensely know them, you don't see what's inside.
Behind the scenes.
They're
Yeah.
trying to fit in. That's true.
I
And
had
that's
to
true. And it's almost like my projection upon that song.
Right.
Mm.
It's a
I had to
perception.
learn. Yeah,
No,
I
that
had
was
to
it.
learn this lesson. Oh, go ahead, JD.
No, that was it.
Oh, I had to learn that lesson around having biological children. I thought that I was gonna have this brown-haired little girl. I saw the vision and everything, and I never could. I ended up having even a microscopic correction for my fallopian tubes, and I never conceived. But in my sober program, I had to do some shadow work around that. Why I didn't have children, because I even put our name down on the adoption list to adopt a baby, a newborn baby, through DFACS, and it was a 5-year waiting list. And when the 5 years came up and they called me and said there's a baby ready, I said I don't think it's meant to be. And I was I was a little worried whether I was going to regret that decision, because most of my adult life I saw me having my own child, But Maddie and I had been together for so long, our life was comfortable. It was like, and that time I was actively drinking and using heavily. So it's almost like spirit knew, like, this is not it, I said no.
Well, you knew.
And, right. I knew inside. Exactly. But what I came to terms with. Oh, go ahead, Lolly.
I was just going to commend you that it's very good that you've seen that and made that decision rather than that child having to pay for the mistakes that were being made.
Exactly. And through this program, I write these things called two-way prayers, where I write to my higher power asking guidance for it, and then I write back as my higher power, as what would my higher power say. And this was one of the most profound letters I've done in my sober program. And I asked my higher power, I'm a little worried if I'm going to regret this. Let's say by the time I'm 60, 70, am I going to regret never having adopted or trying harder to have biological children? And my higher power wrote back through me that when I was teaching, I saw moms that were teachers, and they were always saying that somebody only got part of their, like, you can't give 100% to the classroom and to the children at home. And so I saw that raising kids is not a joke. It's not. And so I just come to the realization that unconditional love I would have had for my own child is meant for the Sangha, the community, for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's it just reminded me of the dream of what I thought I wanted in life. I thought what would bring me true happiness,
Right. That path was physically closed to you. And 6 months on the cushion at a Zen Buddhist monastery brought to light that shadow work that you talk about so often. I did what I knew, which was how to be a single mom. That's what I thought would bring me the honor and the love that I was too afraid as a 17-year-old who had never been anywhere. Right. And that's why, I thought I was going to school on Monday. And I was like, well, and that's another thing. It just all fell through at the last minute because that's not for me right now. And see, I am the person, what the Buddha did for me with compassion. I found out I only owe $1,000 from 1984, right? I can get that together by the fall and apply again and see what they say.
Right. It doesn't mean it's completely closed. Yeah.
Even though the way that those people told me, if you bring yourself on this campus, we will call the cops.
It's a little
because I hadn't paid the rest. Oh, yeah, okay. And I got on the phone and said, I'm gonna get on my knees and I'm gonna pray for you. And I did. Whereas I just would have just been feeling sorry for myself and nothing ever goes out right for me. I'm like, what will you do if I apply for the fall?
I wanted to point out in the comments, they're talking about, I never promised you a rose garden. And then I did promise you a rose garden, but not that it would be totally without thorns. And that's what life is. I mean, that's a true statement. And that goes back to us talking about the positive and negative balances in life. You have to have one without the other. We would not be able to have the beautiful roses that are in the garden without the thorns to protect them. So
my thing is both. We had a rose garden and we blew it. And I was thinking about the Garden of Eden, which certainly had roses in it. And it's just like different takes on the same thing. So, it's not blanket. We is not blanket. We, as I perceive from the Christian standpoint, Adam and Eve had a rose garden. And
they fucked it up. They messed it up.
Yeah. There's gotta be a little rain sometime. That's one of my favorite songs. I was a very strange little black girl on Long Island. The song I listened to the other day, this is going far afield, but maybe not. Karen Carpenter, The Carpenters, We've Only Just Begun, which was a life insurance ad, right? But my favorite singer, if I could do anything in the acting realm, you would only have to white me up a little bit for me to play Karen Carpenter. We've only just begun to live, white lace and promises. Look, that's terrible, but I would rehearse until you thought Karen Carpenter was coming out of my mouth. Okay. I love and I Never Promised You a Rose Garden was one of the songs that taught a little girl about the practical aspects of life. Along with the sunshine, there's got to be a little rain sometimes. So I just love it that it's going on in the comments.
No, yes, that's what it's about, connecting with them. Well,
that was my grandpa's song to my grandma.
Oh, that's so sweet. We appreciate y'all hanging out in here with us. You're so lovely. Yeah. Hopefully it's resonated with somebody. I think we can close out soon if y'all are ready. I've got to pee and get things done around here. TMI.
I haven't eaten today, so
I appreciate y'all so much, and we'll have to talk to see if we're going to do this again or not, you guys.
I was going to say, we simply must do this again. Miss Lolly, it has been an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I have learned more in the last hour and 38 minutes and 54 seconds about life, not just tarot and not just about the Three of Cups. So please, by all means, let's do this again so we can all learn together.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Lolly. I appreciate it. I would love to join again. There's a lot more cards in the deck we need to look at.
I know. Look, all right. It's up to Lolly to pick the next one.
Okay. At this moment, I am at your convenience, Miss Lolly. Anytime.
Anytime y'all want to.
And you too. Brady Comedian,
Yes,
thank you so
of
much for
course.
hosting us in your StreamYard.
Yes, and y'all stream to y'all side too if y'all haven't, okay?
You
I'll
know,
start
I'm
doing
gonna have to
that.
do it the next time. Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Thank you,
Much
Brandy.
All
love.
right,
Thank
Thank you.
Chef
y'all.
Wyvern
Nice to meet
Collective.
you, JD.
Nice to be met. You too.